Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So I'm back with an unboxing and first impressions, and this time is for the Xiaomi POCO X3 NFC, which is a really curious phone. I was really interested when it first came out. Glad I got my hands on one. So in the US, MSRP is about $339. Unlocked phone, 6.67-inch LCD screen with a 120 Hz refresh rate, 1080p Full HD resolution, 64 gigs of storage, 6 gigs of RAM, 3 cameras on the back, including a 64 megapixel primary shooter, and it has a macro lens, and a 20 megapixel on the front. This thing is pretty decked out for what you get for the price, and I'm really interested in it. So interested that I want to take it out of the box. So let's go ahead and get to that part. Before we do, I want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button, and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Let's see what's in the box. All right, here we are with the POCO X3 NFC. This is one of the latest and greatest phones from Xiaomi. It's kind of in the budget sector, but it has some pretty snappy performance with it. It's got a Snapdragon 732G in it, which is no slouch because the 730G is in the Pixel 4a, and that's one of the most loved mid-tier phones of this year. Unfortunately, this isn't available in U.S. markets outside of resale retailers like Amazon and eBay, but it's got a lot going for it. Like I said, Snapdragon 732G. It's got 120 Hz, 6.67 Full HD display, 120 Hz. That's really phenomenal, especially at this price point. 64 megapixel camera and just over a 5,000 milliamp battery. That's a serious battery, especially for what this brings to the table. You've got the cameras on the back. It's got a 64 megapixel primary shooter, a 13 megapixel wide angle, and then you've got a 2 megapixel depth sensor and macro lens camera. So you're pretty much loaded out for bear if you want to go out and take pictures with this. I really like the POCO branding on the back. You can see here there's some fingerprints on the front, just taking it out of the box. This screen protector and the body on this phone are like glue for fingerprints. It just picks them up everywhere. So you're going to be cleaning this a lot. There is a case in here we're going to get to in a minute that's you can put in there. That's nice. Stereo speakers. It's got that nice recessed grill up at the top for the handset speaker, which is nice as well. Open this up. One nice thing that Xiaomi did was they included a case with this. I haven't looked at third-party accessories yet, but I always love when any manufacturer gives you not only a case, this has a built-in screen protector too, so as soon as you take it out of the box, you're covered, you're ready to go, and you don't have to install the screen protector yourself, which is great because, of course, they're very easy to mess up. But you can see here the case is nothing like crazy expensive. It's just a typical clear TPU case. It is a little on the bulky side. Maybe it's just because it's more protective, but it's not a thin one, so you should be perfectly fine and well covered with this phone. It's even got a little flap on the bottom that protects the USB-C charging port on the bottom from getting debris and all that stuff in there. You can see it's running MIUI 12, which is the latest and greatest that they have in their operating system. We've got a SIM ejector tool inside of here as well. Go ahead and move that out of the way and then get into the rest of the box. Once you get in here, that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot in here. You've got this USB Type-C charging cable, so you're covered there. And then it has I guess it has an international power brick here. It's not one designed for the 110 outlets here in the US, but it does have that. Hopefully you've got another battery brick laying around so that you can charge your phone at home, but nicely you can just plug the USB-C cable in, plug it into any other charger, or plug it into your computer, whatever's available really, so that you can get it charged up. These cameras look really, really interesting on the back. And it's even got the fingerprint sensor on the side built into the power button. So I really like the direction that they took this in. I'm really looking forward to using it. Here we are with the POCO X3 NFC. No, it's not 5G, unlike all the other extravagant names on phones lately. It's got this really nice blue color. I will say, though, that it's pretty much a fingerprint magnet. You touch this thing with your fingers, and it's just like sucks the fingerprints off your fingers and puts them straight on the phone. So on the back here, it's got a 64 megapixel camera, a 13 megapixel ultra wide, a 2 megapixel macro lens camera, which it's got one, and it's got a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Lots of good things going for it, though. No wireless charging. It's got IP53 or IP i4 dust and water resistance, not waterproof. Splash proof a little bit. Don't throw it in the water. Don't take this phone in the pool. And it's a little cold now, so you're not going to worry about that anyway. But it's really neat. Stereo speakers, 120 hertz refresh rate display. And that's really the biggest selling point for this. The LCD panel is all right. It's not as nice and saturated as like the LGs and the Samsung panels, but it's pretty good for what it is. And I've been enjoying using it so far. MIUI 12, I'm not the biggest fan of. I used MIUI 10 and 11 before. It's not bad. I do prefer like Oxygen OS or stock Android, or even the One UI with Samsung. MIUI has come a long way. I remember I had a different Xiaomi phone before. I had the Mi 9T, and I totally loved it. Fantastic cameras, and that's one of the reasons I was so excited about this one, because I really want to test it out. Some of the best pictures I took last year were with the Mi 9T. So the Mi 10T's out, that's cool. This right here, still a Xiaomi phone. I think it's going to have a good camera. I've seen some samples. I've looked at some pictures of some of my friends who have taken pictures with them, and it looks promising. 20 megapixel selfie camera, which is nice as well. The LCD screen is about 450 nits of brightness, just under what you would get with the standard for an iPhone. They kind of shoot for the 500 nits of brightness. It's a pretty decent panel. It has a very neutral tone to it. It's not overly saturated. It's not super high contrast, but it is HDR10. And the fingerprint sensor is built into the power button, which I actually like a lot. It kind of mimics what I'm using with my Fold 2 right now, so it's very easy just to reach over and hit that. So, stereo speaker still has the headphone jack, aluminum body, but it has a plastic back on it, which is kind of funny because it doesn't have wireless charging. I guess maybe it was just to cut cost, but saying all that, it still feels premium. It doesn't feel like a cheap phone at all. It's not super thin, but it doesn't have to be because it has so many features incorporated into it, which is good. Snapdragon 732, which is a very capable processor. The Pixel has the 730 in it, and the 730G, which is a really good chipset. The Pixel 4a, that is. So I think that this competes really well, especially whenever you look at things and compare them apples to apples, oranges to oranges. No pun intended. Larger screen here than the Pixel, better refresh rate than the Pixel. The Pixel probably wins out with the camera, but I haven't really got a chance to test those out yet. But thankfully, I have the Pixel 4a, so you better believe there's going to be a comparison video coming down the road. And additionally, I'm getting the Pixel 5, so you're going to get to see that as well too. Overall, I'm really impressed with this. I think that it is worth the $339, just getting a first stab at it. I am a fan of Xiaomi phones. I'm glad that they're making this available to some of us reviewers here in the US, because they're not really marketed to the US, but you can pick one up on Amazon or eBay, and that's how I got my Mi 9T last year. So overall, I like it so far. Gonna take some pictures with it this weekend. I will do my 72-hour review. You can probably expect that Monday. I've been using this since Friday, got about lunchtime. So I've had over about 36 hours of use with it so far. Nice and streamlined. It is zippy. I've been playing a lot of Among Us on here. That's fun. And the 120 hertz refresh rate is really nice for gameplay. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I think it's a really interesting phone, and I'm looking to get some more time to check it out. So stay tuned for my 72-hour impressions and 72-hour review, where I've got a more deep dive into it, look at some things like the camera, do some camera samples for sure, talk more about some things like gameplay and performance that a lot of people really might care about. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comments section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.